I'm Kevin Davis. This is the Catholic Family Podcast, and I'm happy to be joined today by Jude Arthur from Down Under. He's joining us early in the morning, so I appreciate him coming on. I was telling him before the show, I appreciate that trying to do a podcast right after waking up. That can be a little bit hard, but he woke up extra early so that he wasn't groggy. So thanks for that, Jude. make sure
Nah,
make
that's
sure
right.
your brain's working this morning.
Yeah. I don't want to be stumbling through and not actually knowing what I'm saying. But no, thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here. So
Well, it's good to have you
thank
here.
you.
And as everyone knows, I mean, I'm a big fan of people creating Catholic content, or even if it's not Catholic content, Catholics creating good content. I think that that's really important as well. And Jude is making a film, so a Catholic film. There's a trailer that we're going to watch here in a little bit, but I guess the first question, Jude, is I guess maybe a brief description, and then I guess the obvious question is also the why. But first, maybe a brief description of the film.
Oh well, so Land of Conflict. So the movie is called Land of Conflict. It's basically it's an early historical drama, you can call it, of the early historical days in Australia. Just the struggles between the Irish convicts. Well, at this point, they were kind of less convicts. They were more coming into a colony, settlers, and things. Um, so just because the British, it was a British colony, and they were obviously Protestants. So just the conflict between them, the overseers, the British overseers, and the Irish Catholics, and just the conflict that comes from, well, the religions, and also the Protestants always persecuting them, basically. So this is just a little insight in kind of what a lot of the Catholics had to go through in those early days. So hence Land of Conflict, conflict.
Cool.
So it's
Yeah, it's a cool
it's
story. Wow.
yeah, no, it's historical. So there's a lot of details, big details, and characters that are historical and accurate. But we also have like a fictional zoned in a storyline of just how a certain group of people dealt with it. But then there's also an overgeneral, like the big details are actually historically accurate. So it's historical fiction,
Interesting.
just to help you kind of see along more the road.
And why? So why? What made you? I guess first of all, what made you want to make a film? And then I guess secondly, why did you want to make this film?
Well, making to make a film at all. Well, we've kind of just grown up as kids. We just make a lot of little movies and stuff growing up. And then more recently, well, this was quite a while. Actually, this one's taken a while to make. So this was probably about 4 or 5 years ago.
Well,
Um, yeah, it was a long time in the making. So me, well, my brother Samuel and I, we're both kind of like the movie team, and then we kind of try and get other people from like the parish, just people who want to act, and see who wants to act, and then we just with who we have, we kind of decide what we want to make. But I was just more for why this particular movie. I just knew I personally too didn't know much about Australian history. No one really did, and so I was looking into it, and I'm like, there's actually a lot. There's a lot there, and I haven't really seen any movies about it, or anything. I mean, it's mostly the first I've heard of it too. So, and my sister, my older sister, who is now a nun in the convent, Sister Mary Bernard, she actually wrote a book. It's called Bloodstained Gum Leaf, and it's basically about the similar period. So I read that book as well, and so she obviously had the same idea
hmm.
because she's trying to do that as well, but she was doing it through the way she does it, which is a book. So I thought, well, why not make a movie about it? Like nothing to, because we obviously got to work with what we got. We're not like a major company or anything, but just something so people can see like kind of what happened here in the early days. Because I didn't know, a lot of people don't really know. You have a few people who probably know, and then they'd be like, oh yes, something. But so I guess it's more just trying to show a bit more. That's probably it.
Well,
Revealing, I guess.
and I've seen. I mean, I know very little. I mean, I think there's I know a little bit of the story of like Ned Kelly. Kind of this
Mm,
idea of these outlaws. That and that. But I've never really considered that fact of them. Yeah, most of them being Catholics in a
mm,
Protestant country. That is really an interesting thought. I mean, just the idea of how they would ship these convicts who were
mm,
oftentimes even I think they were oftentimes religious convicts, right? They were even being sent away because of their rebellion or whatever, and they were being sent to this talk about the other side of the world into this colony, and that even that in itself is fascinating, and add that to the fact that the religious side of it, that is that's a interesting storyline for sure. Cool. I'm excited now. I'm already excited to hear more about it. Interesting.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, just having that little detail, it's like, oh, it's already, you want to spark the interest. So I think just it alone kind of will get people interested, even if the actual movie itself was boring. Like
just the history of it. Yeah. Interesting. I would say that would be a good point to let's see if I can pull up the trailer, and people can watch it, and we'll comment on it after we watch. We'll just watch it straight through. I think it's about, what is it, 2 minutes long, I think?
Yeah, it's 2 minutes long.
All right, here we go.
Pause this for a sec. This isn't the trailer, by the way. This is the prologue.
Oh, sorry. Got it.
No, that's all good. But we could also watch this as well.
Got it. Well, let's watch this, and then you can tell me how to find the trailer. We'll do this one first. This is the one I found. My bad. My producer error. But let's watch the prologue then.
My dear Father Hayes, I pray that this letter finds you well. So much has happened here these past years. The mission here is fruitful, and even though my life is busy tending to the Lord's vineyard, my heart is happy at the progress which has been made. But this is not what I have written this letter to tell you, good Father, for what I am about to relate to you is the story, what this country has gone through, what sufferings and trials were heaped upon it in a test of faith. But first we must go back 5 years ago to an obscure land far across the sea, a land whose existence was unknown for centuries, a land home to bizarre creatures and unique landscapes, beyond what we could ever possibly imagine. This land is the land of Australia. Once an exile for convicts, now a colony expanding as its valuable resources are discovered, its population growing as civilization moves in, yet in constant conflict, where the weakness of one nation is bent to the will of another, in a time where the pride of man shuns God in his vain pursuit of personal interest, and where those who remain faithful to him take for granted his blessing with and become complacent. It is in time, Father Hayes, when the church may seem to flourish, that everything changes.
It's awesome. It gets me pumped up. I want to go see it. That's cool.
Actually, that's probably better. That's probably better than the trailer.
Nice.
It's more of an insight than the actual trailer. I think that's better.
Okay, so prologue. So is that's literally part of the film then?
Yeah, that's the very beginning of the film.
Got it.
That's the intro.
Cool.
Which is it's better. I like people to see the intro, because it can get them more of the actual idea of the movie. So that was probably better than the trailer to watch, actually.
Well, see, a good mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess then, I mean, I guess I got several questions, but when is this set? Is this what is the period of this?
This is set in between 1825 and 1830.
Okay.
So you mentioned Ned Kelly earlier. He was like 50 years later. This is like 50 years before that. But similar. Ned Kelly, that was more kind of similar situation, but more as it was getting more less of like this. What happens in this film is like mega, the big deal, whereas Ned Kelly was more like still the same, but not as a big deal as this.
Got it.
So yeah, it's early 1800s. That's
Got
pretty
it.
much.
And how long is the full film?
Full film's about an hour. Just 1 hour.
Nice. Okay. That's
So,
pretty good for. I mean, as you say, if it takes you 4 or 5 years, I mean that is
yeah, you want to show something for it.
well, yeah, no question. And it's funny because I mean, when we were growing up too, we made some little films. Or when I was in Omaha in boarding school, we made little films. And I remember one time we put together a film that was, just kind of a silly little film, and I think it was 5 minutes long. But it took us
Oh,
like half the school year, man. It's just amazing. You're working with Windows, what was it, Windows Movie Maker and stuff, and you're plugging together the little video pieces and putting in cut screens and stuff. Oh, good
oh
old
yeah.
days.
It's
I guess the tech is a little bit better nowadays than it was
yeah. Well, I mean,
years
we
ago.
grew up with the same thing. Windows Movie Maker, just
Nice.
depending on the computer you got, the slow motion would still have sound. That's all I remember about it. Because
I,
sometimes the slow motion would just remove the sound completely. But
oh
if
man.
you got the right computer, you'd get that little low pitched growl of
Yeah,
a person, whatever.
that's it. That's awesome. But this looks good. So this is obviously a nice quality of film. I mean, are you? I mean, I know this is tech stuff. No one's going to really care. But are you using Adobe Premiere, or what are you using?
I'm using one called Wondershare Filmora, so
Okay,
it's actually pretty good.
looks
I
good.
mean, it's pretty good. I used it, so it's we got it a few years ago. It's just it's not a subscription one. It's actually just a pay once. So I got it when it was Filmora 9. Excuse me. Now it's Filmora 13 or something, and because I already
Hmm.
bought it like years ago, it's just rating for free. So it's getting so
Oh,
that's good. So better
that's
that than the
nice.
subscription
Okay.
anyway. And
Yeah.
yeah, it
Wow.
does the job. Even now, I'm still finding features that I'm still using, so I'm still like constantly figuring things out as well. So Land of Conflict itself was also a learning experience for me because I pretty much got this software, Filmora 9, well, Filmora 12 now. And as I was editing the movie, as we were making it, I was constantly picking it up as we went along. So even if people who watch the movie, they'll probably be able to see the quality and
Mm,
things increasing because of the prologue. That was the last thing I edited. So it was one of the last things I edited. So that was kind of like where that was my peak. So that was where I kind of settled. Was that,
got it.
and then I did go over the rest of the movie afterwards, just touching it up. So it wasn't like the prologue was going to be amazing and then the rest of the movie was really bad. You don't want that either. So yeah, so Filmora. If anyone out there is getting interested in movie making, it's a good one. So,
That's good to know. No, I hadn't heard that. So this took you. You said it took you several years. I mean, was it something? Were you literally shooting for several years? So were you shooting film, or did you like? Did it take you a long time to? You had to put together the story structure, and then you shot everything, and then you edited, or was it kind of a fluid process?
it was there was a lot. There was a lot going on. It was basically the actual like screenplay, so the script writing. That was 2 months, very very quick.
Hmm.
Because I was thinking about the movie for a long time, and it was just once I actually started writing down, it was just quick. I would say it was more the shooting, just because we had a lot of people in the parish. So when my siblings and myself we make movies, we just do it at home. When you
Hmm.
have people outside, you have to get what you can get because people have lives. They're busy. It's not like they're paid actors and they're coming whenever I want them to. So I would say it took a long time just because it was hard to get everyone that you needed together at the same time. So when I say it took 4 years, that's like one week in 4 weeks. There's a scene.
Hmm.
There's 3 weeks where I'm just getting ready for the next one, which I mean a lot of it is the prep. Like there's a lot of prep, so there's also that. But I would say just trying to get everyone together. That takes time, and then there's a lot of weekends where you get enough people, but then one person, the main actor you need, doesn't show up. Or well, they don't just show up, but like they can't come, and then it's like, oh, we can't do it now because you know they're not. We don't have our main actor, So just that was why it took so long. The actual editing was because it was just my own time. I pretty much did that whenever I needed to. So it was more the shooting, the
Yeah.
actual, which was a problem because 4 years is a long time when someone is 10 and by the end
Everyone's
of it,
yeah.
14.
Right.
And
That's what I wondered. It's like, boy, that could be tough.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
no one really changed except for my brother Samuel. You'll notice because he's a main character, and we didn't do the movie in order. So sometimes he's here and sometimes he's here. So that's
That's awesome.
that's the biggest thing. about the timing. No one
I-
else really changed.
I remember that being the case in some Hollywood movie or show. I don't remember what it was, but I remember that being a problem where they cast a 10, 11-year-old or whatever, and it took them a year or something to record, or and he grew a couple inches, and so it was actually a really big problem that I don't know how they solved it, but it's kind of a funny thing because I think most movies don't shoot in sequence either, right? I know, like, I mean, I've watched like the making
none.
of The Lord of the Rings or something. They shoot very like
Mm.
sometimes like the last shot is shot first. You know, the last scene in the movie is shot first, and so and that's something that I think as people who are just movie goers, you obviously go and you watch the film and it's in sequence. But I mean, it's not like that, right? You're kind of just plugging it. You're going and you're trying to plug it all. You're going to film it and then plug it all together. I mean, that's gonna be pretty hard to organize in your head or on paper, I suppose.
Oh yeah, because naturally you want to do it in order because sometimes you have to change things, and so sometimes you have to change lines, change some of the characters even, and that can affect a later scene. If you've already done it, it's like, oh, now we have to change that. So obviously, as we are as humans, you naturally want it to be in order, but you just can't because otherwise it would still be going because sometimes you have to get the right people together. It's like, we don't have this person, so we're just gonna have to do a different scene then. So prepare for that one instead. So you just have no choice. You really have to do it in not in order, which is people who watch the movie will see definitely. They'll be able to, they have the luxury that a lot of Hollywood watchers don't get of being able to actually see the order we did, because you can see where Samuel is in his height and his growth period and
That's
his voice.
awesome.
His voice. Sometimes he's like this, and then he was like this. So it was like, it's good because, like you're saying, it's awesome. It's like people love it. So that's so far. People are like, oh, that's so good. Like, it's just those little things that most people.
What do you do?
Actually, I mean, yeah,
that's
exactly.
funny. So what was the hardest thing? What was the biggest struggle for the whole film, I guess?
Again, probably just getting everyone together to film it.
Yeah.
Like that was the biggest struggle. Then of course, every other movie maker, one of the biggest struggles is just surrounding life. People who, as soon as you say action, start mowing the lawn, chainsawing, like that it's just, if you ask any other filmmaker, they have exactly the same problem. Like, because we're shooting on Saturdays because that's when no one's working, and that's when all the neighbors want to mow the lawns and chop down trees and things. So that's, and when I also say surrounding life, things like light switches and things, just you're doing the scene, you're editing it, and you're like, oh, we're in the 1800s here, and there's a light switch so I would say with this movie as well, also as we're learning, this movie is a big learning process for us as well, is also just constantly finding, oh, that's right, there's this. Obviously when you're doing it, you want to scan it, but then you get so used to things and you don't realize till afterwards, oh, this actually doesn't look very 1800s. There's lights, you got like a light switch and there's like a hat hanging on it just to kind of half cover it or something. So yeah, getting people together, surrounding modern life. Those are the two biggest things.
I remember watching again the making of Lord of the Rings, and there was a scene. So they have it's the final scene in one of the final scenes in the movie where they're all parting, and it's really sad, and they were really emotional. I guess it was the last that they actually did it, so it was like the last thing they shot, and they're all really emotional and crying, and it's parting, and it's all really sad, and they went back and edited it, and they saw that one of the actors didn't have the proper coat on, so he had shot. So he had come in with the coat on, and then he had forgotten to put it back on when he came in for that shot. And no one had caught it until the whole thing was cut. They shot the whole thing. They're editing it, and they're like, "Oh no, we have to do the entire thing again." Even though it was a great, they filmed it was perfect. It was this perfect sequence. Everyone acted perfectly, but just because of the one coat that was different, they had to go and reshoot the whole thing again. It's just like, oh, I can't even imagine as a filmmaker, and oh, that's brutal. But that kind of thing, I can imagine happens.
It happens. Excuse me. It happens, but it's never the same the second time around. Like the first time is the best, but the second time around, it's never the same. So I feel for them there because, I mean, it was still a great scene in the Lord of the Rings. So I mean,
it was.
They did a good job. So if the first one was better, then
hard to imagine, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like
they're pros. I guess this is how the pros do it. No, that is interesting. So I guess on the other side, what was the most fun or the most rewarding part of it? I mean, what did you like best? Did you like the editing, the writing, the shooting?
Well, I like editing a lot, and this was definitely enjoyable to edit, especially when I had Samuel, my brother. He's there helping, giving his opinion and stuff. It's just fun. It was a good experience, but overall, I think also just the teamwork, kind of like I would say the bonding as well between the actors and the crew members, I guess. Just like you're having a good time. It's just like every scene is actually, well, most scenes. Some of them are kind of difficult, but well, they were all difficult to some degree, but they were all they were enjoyable. It was a fun time. It was very
Mhm.
enjoyable to make. You getting your friends together. There was one particular scene. It was really fun, and we even have some behind the scenes shots and stuff. You can see it. It's basically just a party with someone with a camera, and then someone yelling at action, and then everyone gets in zone. So I would say it's there's a lot of good memories with it as well.
Cool.
But also you've got good memories, good times, but there's something to show for it. You've got a movie now, so it's definitely and having the movie there reminds you, keeps the memory alive, rather than just a party and then, oh, that's right, there was this party, it was fun,
Mhm.
but I don't remember. So the memories I think were a good thing, and just the teamwork, the bonding. We have, and you can really, yeah, it was just a good time, really. Like I say, some scenes were kind of miserable, but if it's raining and everyone's in a
Sure.
good mood, someone forgot to bring their morning coffee or something, and then it's just like, action, not good, cut. But
Well,
most of it was a good time.
What was that something was it hard to keep people motivated? Obviously, as you said, you're not paying anybody for this, so they're doing it
Uh,
for either for fun or they're doing it for a favor for you or whatever that is. I mean, I know how these projects are. I mean, speaking for
mm,
myself too, as a sanguine, that's like you start it and it's like you're really excited and you get into it and you're really up for it, and then couple months down the line or it's kind of like, oh, come on, why did I sign
yeah.
up for this? Was that hard to motivate people and keep them like, hey, come on, we gotta finish this, or
Um.
was it kind of worked?
Well, that 2 years. No, okay, no. No, it was. I think it was good. It was. I wasn't. Obviously, the novelty. Yeah, the novelty wears off. People are like,
Hmm.
because we had one particular movie that we, as a family, just like a kids movie we made, and it was quite good. So I would show people, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's so good." I'm like, "Oh, I'm making another one. Do you want to act?" And they're like, "Yes." I want to
Cool.
act in a movie. Then and they're like pumped for it, and the first few scenes are like really good. But I would say just I wasn't very just because obviously I was a lot of my actors were 20s in their 20s and older. And I was 15, 16,
Hmm.
and 17. So I wasn't very, and I was a child, so or teenage child, so I wasn't very. I would ask, and if they were like, no, I can't, sorry, then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to push because I'm 16. So I guess just because I wasn't very pushy, and people kind of could still do it when they wanted to. No, not like they had me hooked around the little finger or anything, but just like they still had the choice of when they were ready for it. So I
Hmm.
guess because they kind of had that going, it never really became like a burden too much. If I was like pushing and dragging them every Saturday, well, two things: it would have gotten done earlier, and but it might not have been as enjoyable because
Hmm.
they're forced into it. So it was very casual, and it just kind of became uh because it was years, it kind of just became part of life, just like a fun thing, like, oh yeah, guys, gotta get together to a scene. So
Cool.
I would say overall, the overall feel, I'm not speaking for everybody, but I would say the overall feel was just kind of casual. Still enjoying it. Everyone still enjoyed it every time. So no one really showed signs of not wanting to be there anymore. The novelty definitely wore off early on because every week it's like we're doing a scene, doing a scene.
Yeah, right, again.
Oh, I'm busy this weekend. I'm sorry,
Sure.
just not this time. So
I think
yeah,
it's
it
I think
was.
it's cool though. I mean, I think it's really an important thing to find ways for Catholics to get together
Mm,
like this. I think it's a great idea, and I think that not everyone's gonna be able to make films and stuff, but I think that idea of doing something together to
mm,
build some project, and I think that could be anything, and I think that it's a really good lesson. I mean, whatever that is, whatever that project, if it's I don't know, painting a
mm,
church or whatever, it's something that brings people together, and in a fun way, because I think that we'd all agree those are some of our best memories, some of the best moments of our lives
mm.
when we're doing something together, as Catholics and as friends to create something that did not exist until you made it. And that's a really really rewarding. So I imagine
Oh yeah,
you felt that too. And now you have a finished product. It's like, hey, we did this, and that's
yeah,
that's a neat
exactly.
thing.
And since then, a lot of the actors have, some of the actors have married, some of the actors have moved to other states or whatever, and so they've kind of moved on. A lot of them I haven't seen for, some of them I haven't seen for a long time. So, and just having the movie there, it's like, well, there were those days where we get together, we do movies, and kind of that little. And then obviously, like I said, people move on. I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna get older and move on. My brother will, Oh, my other brother was already moved on at that point. He was still acting. That was Matt. He was the only father with kids. He was acting with me. So
Respect.
that was good. Yeah, he had already moved on, but he was still with us, so that was good. Well, actually, Matt was a very that's my brother Matthew. So you know him, but for the audience,
He's been on the channel a couple times.
Oh,
It's
he's
been a
been on.
while.
All right.
It's been
Well,
way too long, but he has been on. Yeah.
too long. The cheesy guy with the mo. Did he have a mo at that point?
No, one of my all-time favorite podcasts was with Matt when we talked about the devolution of music. Fantastic. Anyone should go look that up. I'll try to remember to attach a link because it's a
Oh, yeah.
fantastic series of podcasts that was with Matt. Really good.
Oh, I better check that out. Then I actually haven't seen.
Good.
I think I saw one with Matt. One with Matt and my other brother Alex. Did you do one with both of them?
Yeah, and that was also
I think it was-
really good. What we do about Russia and Ukraine, and it's
Yeah.
just as fitting now as it was when we recorded 2 years ago, I think, or a year and a half ago,
Oh.
and it's still good. It
So
was
it's
a while.
still holding up. No,
Still
it was
holding
good.
up. Still holding up. It was good. Yeah, it was really good content. I even come back, like I still listen to content about Ukraine and Russia, and I still remember, it's like, yep, this is pretty much what we talked about.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. He was like, or your brothers, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
this is what it is, and I think it really holds true. No, that's another really good one. So it's good. Now that the third Arthur, and your parents were actually on several years ago too.
Oh yeah. I saw that too. Mum
Way
and
back
Dad were
when.
at the dinner table. They're like, we're with Kevin Davis tonight. That's what it was like last night. I was doing something in the kitchen, and I was like, oh, I have to get up early tomorrow. And I was like, why is that? She's like, and I said, oh, I'm on an interview with Kevin Davis, and I was like, oh, Kevin Davis. I'm like, yeah. She's like, is this for your movie? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, that's so exciting. I'm like, yeah.
Cool. Well,
So yeah,
hi to your mom for me. But no, and
I will.
it's good. I mean, it really is something again that I think I love to see this type of thing. And we actually had on another filmmaker a couple years ago, Hannah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, what's they just did the Saint Elizabeth movie.
Oh, they just did the Saint Philomena one actually.
Saint Philomena, that's right.
But they at the time it would have been Saint Elizabeth.
That's right. It was Saint Philomena, and another. It's just awesome to see again Catholics making good Catholic content. There's not enough of it out there, man. It's just not even close. And I think,
yeah.
And again, it's just like, and I saw, I mean, again, kind of going a little off topic, but I saw Mel Gibson might be directing a series about the Siege of Malta. And it's like, oh, come on, let's go. Let's get some real Catholic content. And I know Mel Gibson, maybe he won't do it right, but I have a little hope, at least a little with him. It's like, maybe he'll do it and it'll be a really good Catholic show. Because I do think culture is shifting. I think you see Hollywood falling apart. And I think that the whole era of really deeply immoral shows and movies, I think is actually ending, thankfully. And I think they've seen that there's not a market for it anymore, that people actually do want generally more wholesome content. And I think there's hope there. And I think that's something that I think that it's cool to see again. And I imagine you don't do editing and stuff for a job, I assume.
No,
just a hobby.
It's just a hobby, yeah.
But I mean, but it's something too that I think people should. I think we need to remember that anyone who's watching this. I mean, there are other content creators. I do think there's things we need to work on together too. I mean, that's something I want to remember. Like, okay, I know Jude is an editor, because I think that it is something that we do need to work together for the glory of God, right? I mean, that's ultimately the goal. And if people have skills, and if you put together the work and the blood, sweat, and tears to become more skilled at editing. That's a really good thing that a lot of people can't do. More people can get on a camera and talk than they can put together a good film. I mean, that's something I'm absolutely sure. So, so I'm definitely glad to see that people are putting in the work.
Oh yeah, and speaking of joining forces, we actually had Hannah, so people of Saint Genesius films, they acted in our movie, and in the other movie,
nice.
we're actually a little insight. We're actually trying to make another movie now. Depending on whether we can finish or not is another story, because obviously we're all getting older. It's kind of hard to get together and stuff. But it's and we have a high presence of Saint Genesius films. So that's Hannah's movie production.
Cool.
We have a high presence of them helping us. So
Okay.
joining forces, like you said, and it's better.
Awesome.
It's helping me because they're obviously they were more veteran, I guess, than we are. So they're kind of helping us catch up.
That's
get
awesome.
ahead.
So did they
Nah,
come down there, or did you do that virtually?
Well, actually, so two of them, so Hannah and her brother Jude. So it's kind of confusing. They came down just for a visit to Australia, and that was in the period when we were making Land of Conflict, and there was a really big scene coming up, like a big scene, and I was trying to get as many actors as possible. And I'm like, oh, what if I can get the Saint Genesius actors? So I was like, I was really humble about it. I was like, oh, could you honor me, grace me? You know? And they were like, oh yeah, sure, that'll be fun. So we got them in there, got the name in the credits, you know, that'll make us famous.
Nice.
Just have those few famous actors in there. But no, it was definitely good. It was fun. I think they enjoyed it as well. That scene was one of the funnest scenes to make, and it was one of the biggest, and it's the most, probably the one of the I don't know, deep, just mega, one of the mega scenes in the movie. And any watcher who watches the movie will be able to, any watcher who watches any viewer of the movie will probably see. Well, they'll see the one with the Patrizis in it. So
right.
So there's that one.
Well, last question. I mean, because it's already it's been quicker than I thought. I was like 30. I was like, we should keep it around 30 minutes. It's kind of quick.
Kind of rambling.
No, it's good. It was a lot to talk about. The last question, because I'm actually pretty curious. What did you film it on? I mean, are you filming? Do you have a big old movie, camera, or are you filming on an iPad or an iPod?
We had a family iPhone, and looking back, I wish we had something better. We have stuff better now, but looking back, we had not this one, but it basically looked like this. Action, and it's like you're doing all this stuff, but the battery was terrible.
Oh.
So we had like battery packs hanging out and things. So I didn't mention this earlier, but another struggle was just trying to make the battery last while we were filming, because filming takes a long time, like a good few hours, if not longer, and the battery an hour tops. So you want to keep on top of the battery packs, and it's annoying because when you're holding a phone, you got a battery pack weighing it down. So yeah, we filmed it on you can see the quality. The quality is honestly the quality is not terrible.
The prologue I thought looked pretty good.
Yeah, it's you can see in the movie, depending on the lighting and stuff, how the quality can kind of you can see the flaws a bit. But I think from what I can see and from the few people who have seen it, it's not like a deal breaker. It doesn't break the immersion or anything. It probably actually some viewers have even said it actually adds to the whole vibe, just like this kind of crunchy kind of look, and kind of just adds a bit more
retro.
Yeah, exactly. So it actually came out a lot better than I thought, because I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, phone, what were we doing? And then I was watching, I'm like, it's actually not too bad. Like
with phones these days,
yeah. Well, I mean, that was pretty old. So a very, very old phone. It was a family.
Do an Apple commercial now. Yeah, they say, see, buy an Apple 10 years ago, or iPhone, whatever it is, Apple product.
But buy an old movie production camera.
Exactly. And so when does it come out?
Easier. The movie? There's no official release date. It's not yet, but it's I would for impatient audiences, I would say not impatient, but for people who are waiting, it's not going to be long. And so obviously the trailer, the landing page came out about around Christmas. There is a process before the movie can actually be released, and I just don't want to give a release date until I know that it's actually going to be able to be released. Obviously it will be released.
Couple months, couple weeks.
Oh, I would say from now, within a couple of months at the most, I would say. And there will be for those who are tuned in, I guess, and for those that there will be an update. And like there will be a release date announcement. Okay. So it's not just going to be like it's here. There it is. Well, quick, get it. There will be an update. I was thinking of making this the release date announcement. But I think I have to refrain for now. Just I need to make sure everything is ready. So I do not want a situation where I'm not ready before the release date, because you don't want that either. I'd much rather have a later release date. And the longer, and you also want to, forgetting what I have to do, the trailer needs to circulate. We need it to get around. I mean, even this, there might be people who see this who haven't heard of it, and they'll be like, oh, we can have a look at this. And it's it's releasing tomorrow. It's like no. It's like you got time. You got time to share with all your friends and their friends. Spread it around. Because I want good spread as well. Because I mean, 4 years in the making. I want everyone to see it. I want everyone to see it.
So what's the website? Where can people watch for updates and whatnot?
Well, we have a landing page. If you put in if you just put it at the web, blackcrossstudios.com. So at Black Cross Studios, that's us. blackcrossstudios.com. So we've simplified it. If you put that in, it'll just bring up our landing page. You can also follow us on YouTube, and then also Instagram and Facebook for there it is. The Instagram and Facebook and YouTube for other updates. YouTube has the trailer. Oh, the trailer's on the landing page. But YouTube has the trailer and some other stuff as well. So you can tune into us there. But the landing page is where you can sign up actually to our email list. You can sign up, and it doesn't cost anything to sign up. You sign up, and basically obviously we saw the first 2 minutes, but if you sign up, you can watch the first 2 minutes of the movie. You also get to access to the movie 2 weeks before it's released if you sign up. So there's a bonus there.
Nice.
So, and that's all.
Wait, do I get that? Do I get that for free? So for doing this podcast, I get a.
Well, you still got to sign up. If you don't sign up, if you don't sign up, I can't get it to you.
I think I already did sign up. I think I had to sign up to get the prologue.
Prologue, yeah.
So
yeah, I got you now.
You got me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was smooth.
I'm just gonna ask everybody to interview.
Exactly.
Interview me. Don't do interviews.
But you got to sign up first.
Exactly. Sign up first. But I mean, there's no traps or anything. It's just so you can see it earlier. And if you don't sign up, I can't get it to you. So there's that. And also for future, like if you've signed up, you will get future updates on future movies and things like that. So it just makes it easier for me to spread everything and actually get it out there. So it's easy to just release something and then twiddle your thumbs aside. But if there are actual people who I know will get it and be able to watch it, then that's good. And yeah, so the more the merrier. So that's what we want. And yeah, I mean, it's taken a long time. Got a lot of actors and their family and their friends. They want them all to see it. So, it's
Well, the Saint Philomena one got tens of thousands of views last I saw from Saint Genesius. The Saint Philomena.
Yeah. That was
great.
Good.
Yeah,
that was good.
That was awesome. So
also because I don't expect to get that much with this one, but maybe the next one.
You never know.
Obviously, you got to build. You got to build. You got to campaign.
Sure.
If this was our one and only movie, then that's it. But I would like to make more if I can. Because we got the stuff. Oh, we're getting better. This movie, we're a lot from when we started the movie 4 years ago to where we are now. There was a lot of learning and experience. Like you can even see the actors getting better. By the end of the scene, we're like really good. We're like Shakespeare, but almost. But we don't want to just get really good and then be cool. We got skills back in life. Like you want to use them. I mean, editing. I'm a lot better at editing than I was 4 years ago.
Sure.
Just through this movie, because I mean, 4 years of editing and re-editing things, and then not being happy with things, and then re-editing again. It's like and it just gets quick. And also, here's a little back insight. Editing this movie in the early days was a little dodgy frame. We had a little dodgy laptop, and it was really slow and choppy. And halfway through this movie, I actually got like a good quality PC for for editing basically, and it was life changing. I just like, it's not. I'm not sure if when you said you used to edit movies on Windows Movie Maker, would you ever get those glitches where it's like the sound is just chopping and replaying and it's like glitching up and
everything.
it's like
or you put it all together and then it would just it would all delete, like it would just like error, and then your whole video is gone.
Error. Yeah,
those were the good old
move
days.
A file or something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
If you
man.
move, I was like, I'll move that video there. Error. The whole movie is bad now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was life changing, and
nice.
I basically re-edited everything. I was like, because then I was looking back, and I'm like, on the little dodgy computer, you just can't see things because it's like you just get to the point you're just tired. You're just like, I just want to get this done.
Right.
But now I can actually, with this PC, it was like luxurious, really. I can't go back. I can't go back now. That's the only thing. So if I have to, I'm not making any more movies.
well, I mean, it's definitely it's a good reason everyone has to go and watch this film once it's there. Go over to the website. Everyone, again, Black Cross Studios. You can find it again on YouTube, Facebook, and all these places. And stay tuned. If it's not out in 2 months, then I think we're gonna have to go and we're gonna find Jude and force him to publish it, I guess. But we'll give him 2 months from now. So we'll give him until mid April. And if it's not published, then we're gonna have a problem. I'm gonna find you.
Yeah, but we'll have to do another interview.
Yeah, I guess so. Right, exactly. I'm like, dude. Yeah, and then we'll do it live, and people can lambaste you in the comment section. That will be your motivation. You have to have it published by mid-April, or else people can comment live as we do a podcast.
Whoa.
But no, I appreciate it, Jude. Thanks for coming on. It definitely went longer than I expected, but in a good way. It was not in a bad way. It was a good way. So we hope that everyone enjoyed it as well, and that you go back and or go over to blackcrossstudios.com. You can watch the trailer over there, which we did not watch today. We watched the prologue, which was pretty cool. So you can watch the trailer over on blackcrossstudios.com. And stay tuned to see when it gets published, and I guess to see what comes next, and whatever. Maybe you can contact Jude and you can offer to go down and act in a scene in Australia.
That's really,
that'd be pretty cool.
I always got more roles.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, make it as international as possible. Now, that is the way. But no, absolutely. And again, I love it. I love new content. I love people who put together their effort and blood, sweat, and tears to create things, because I think that's we're not in that era anymore of kind of hiding, and I think we're in an era of making, doing, building. And I think that is our movies the most important? Obviously not, but it is a good thing. It is an important way of telling stories that people can learn from, and I think that media is an important part of our lives, and it's a way of hopefully giving glory to God. And I know that's what you and I are both trying to do. And so everyone, go over and support them and sign up. We need to get him. Everyone's got to give him at least 10 subscriptions today. So everyone who's watching this, he needs to get 10 people to sign up, and that's a fair request. At least 10. And 10. I know exactly. I mean, 100 would be better, but 10 would be great.
Well, here's the deal. The more subscribers I get, the more pressure I feel, because I know there are more people waiting for it.
Yeah.
If I've got 10
make Jude stressed. That's what we're aiming for.
Exactly. If you stress me out, the movie will come out soon.
Exactly. Perfect. Well, Jude, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck with the last steps of your editing and getting everything together. I know how those types of things can be very, very stressful, but but 2 months, or else I'm coming for you. So awesome.
I'm gonna pull this off the site.
Exactly. It's done. Awesome. Cool. All right, Jude. Until next time.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. God bless.